Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Canelo Alvarez found a way to lose tonight. Just, went up against somebody that's way too big for him. I think he just kind of went beyond his threshold, and it is what it is. But my question now is, Eddie Hearn, the good thing about Eddie Hearn is he's very vocal and he talks a lot. And when the stars line up for him, it makes him look really good and really smart when things work out the way he says it is. But then when things don't, it makes him look a little stupid. So now he's sitting there looking, in my opinion, like a damn clown. All he needs is a big red nose on his face and parading around the circus juggling balls. Because he had AJ, and he trumpeted how great AJ was and how everyone else needs to raise their profiles and how, AJ is the greatest heavyweight and the best resume. And I agree, AJ has a solid resume, but he's done his job as a promoter. But he talks so much to where he puts his fighters on this kind of pedestal that when things don't work out for them and they lose, it can make people be glad. And that's unfair to the fighter. Because AJ and Canelo don't talk like they're better than everyone. Everyone's beneath them. AJ talks a little bit of that stuff. Canelo doesn't. But Canelo's right about with where he is in boxing. Why in the world should he have to melt his self down to make a catchweight to fight guys like Earl Spence, But now that he's lost, my thing is, Eddie Hearn was saying when it comes to Canelo, people don't deserve a shot at him. Well, he just took a loss. Okay? Doesn't matter that he was fighting a light heavyweight. He was doing something that most fighters wouldn't do. Canelo deserves to be commended. But who deserves a shot now? It does not make sense to put Canelo back in the ring with Bivol. It does not. They have weight classes for a reason. Canelo's weight class is not light heavyweight. Whatever happened in there with Kovalev, it was a close fight up until Canelo caught him with that shot and knocked him out. Still, I have to question that knockout, okay? Because Kovalev has fought other light heavyweights who can hit way harder than Canelo. But Canelo knocks him out like that. So anyway, Canelo comes into this fight probably thinking at some point he's going to be able to get Bivol out of there. A lot of us were expecting that too, because that's what Canelo has shown in fights. At some point he'll catch up to you. But by the time this fight got into the second round, I was like, Canelo's about to lose. Because he just could not land. I was watching Bivol. Amazing things he was doing in there, man. The jab. I seen Bivol jab to the body, right hand upstairs, come back with the hook, and come back with the right hand, and then jab out of it and move out of the way. I said, that's boxing 101. That's boxing 101. Coming in with the jab, just jab, up, down, tap, 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 tap. Nothing hard, just keeping Canelo's mind busy. And then let go a super hard combination, And Canelo, he knew. I talked about this stuff in videos too. You know when you're in the ring with somebody and you have that oh shit moment. And when you're early in a fight and you're having that oh crap moment, that's a problem. And it showed up in his body language, his corners, and quietness and their panic, because you could tell like this fight, Canelo's gonna lose. But Bivol is just a fighter. I don't see too many light heavyweights beating him. You have to really, no kidding, you have to knock him out. The conditioning he was in was just absolutely amazing. But now we got to think about what are we going to do next. Canelo's lost. According to Eddie Hearn, Charlo doesn't deserve a shot. Benavidez doesn't deserve a shot. Earl Spence at a catchweight doesn't earn a shot. To me, Canelo should stay at 168. And anybody who wants to fight him should meet him at 168. Very simple. You know, Earl Spence trying to unify the light heavyweight division. He needs to stop. As long as Bivol's hanging around there, it's not going to make it. It's just impossible for it to happen. That's why I did that video called Upset Alert about Bivol and Canelo. Because I don't know it all, but I know they have weight classes for a reason, and I know Bivol can fight, and so can Canelo. But you just can't. It's like at one point, some fool was talking about Pacquiao fighting Klitschko. Like, let's not take it to the stupid. We got to be sensible about this. We got to use some intelligence, man. Pacquiao fighting Klitschko because he's mopping up everybody in the lower weight classes, 154 down. Now you think he can go fight Klitschko? 6'7", 260 pounds? Like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like, just stupid, man. So now with Canelo's, same thing. He's a great fighter, but he just met his match. 175 weight division is not for him. And definitely not fighting Usyk. So Eddie Hearn, figure out the rematch with Bivol. Let Canelo take his third loss, which to me hurts Canelo's profile. But he's chasing greatness, so at the same time, you got to respect that. You know, he's not fighting on nobodies right now. Like this was the first fight he had that was really like, okay, we can give you credit for this win. And he didn't because of what he had in front of him. And that's what everybody's been complaining about when it comes to Canelo, is his opposition, cherry picking. Although he's fighting champions that cherry picked, he got comfortable, got himself some confidence, and for some reason, man, he like falsely believed that he could go in there and do to a monster what he was doing to these teddy bears. And he got the wake-up call. And he knew he lost. He's not going to go into the rematch. It's going to be the same thing. But that being said, I think they should stop now before he gets hurt, because I think he gets knocked out next time, and just make the Benavidez fight. Or make the Charlo fight at 168. Simple. I mean, outside of the rematch with Bivol, going up to Usyk is suicide, okay? This right here really gives teeth to the argument that Canelo should be fighting Benavidez or Charlo or Andrade. That's it. Those are the three names, man. We get what you were trying to do. Up and down the ladder, different divisions. We get it. But at this point, stop. Fight Benavidez or Charlo. Like he needs to fight Benavidez or Charlo. Eddie Hearn needs to make that happen, because he's trying to get Canelo in there with his other light heavyweights. The light heavyweight division is not for Canelo. Eddie Hearn is going to get him into trying to get him into what Boatsy and these other guys. Canelo's going to get hurt. These guys aren't going to take it easy on him. I know Canelo spars heavyweights. He spars light heavyweights. That's sparring. No one's in there to take your head off. No matter how hard you're going, you're Canelo. No one's going to come in there and break your jaw. You know what I mean? No one's going to come in there and damage your eye socket. No one's going to come in there and put their elbow in your neck. Like, that's sparring, and you're Canelo. And they're not going to do that because of the respect they have for you. In a fight, it's totally different. And these guys Eddie Hearn's talking about putting them in there with, light heavyweights, they're going to see an opportunity, and they're going to hurt Canelo. And I personally don't want to see everything that he's worked for, because people always want to remember your losses. They want to talk about the bad things. And often that overshadows all the good. And that sucks. But for Canelo, there's nothing to to discuss here. Like, there's not even an argument as whether he should go and do a rematch or stay at light heavyweight. The answer is no. No, not at all. I don't want to see that for him. And I don't want to see him wandering around here, lose again, and now he leaves Eddie Reynoso. He goes to find another trainer. Like, that would really suck, man. So I just think he should just humble himself and say, hey, I tried it. 168, 175, the right fight, yeah, but those elite fighters at 175, it's just not for me. But Eddie Hearn, this is the time to make the fight. Charlo, especially Jamal. Jamal's fighting Selecki. That's a joke. Jamal needs a big fight, but he may get a wake-up call too when he was fighting the machine. Jamal lost that fight. I don't care what you say. He lost that fight. But no, it wasn't the machine. It was that was what's his name, Crawford fight. But no, it was that guy. I can't remember his name, but Jamel fought him. Jamel lost that fight. Jamal lost that fight, but they gave him the win. That was the night where his brother fought Tony Harris in the first fight, and they robbed him. So the wrong Jamal won, the wrong Charlo won, the wrong one won, and the wrong one lost. And that guy who he fought, Jamal fought, I can't remember his name. He beat him. So if Jamal steps up now and goes in there with Canelo or somebody like that, you may see him take a loss. And that's and he's not afraid to fight anyone, but I just think when you actually get in there with elite fighters, when you haven't been really fighting elite opposition, and when I say that, I'm talking about special fighters, that's what happens. And Canelo is a special fighter. He is. But he got in there with somebody who was special too. You got to understand that Eddie Hearn's got to figure out what he's going to do with him, because you're putting him back in. You put Canelo, you're going to not fight Benavidez, not fight Charlo, and put Canelo back in there with this guy who has an amateur at 268 wins and 13 losses in the Russian advanced amateur program. Just showed you what he's about. Why would you do that again? So, I don't know, man. The landscape out there in the 168 division is not all that. But to make it interesting, let's try to work out something with Jamal and Benavidez and make those fights happen. Because all this about they don't deserve shots, they don't bring money to the table, they need to raise their profile, they've fought weak opposition, they bring nothing to the table, they just want a payday from Canelo. Look, Canelo needs them just as much as they need him. Those are fights that people want to see. But I tell you what, Canelo's talking about staying around the sport another 6 to 7 years. But if he continues to try to fight guys like Dimitri Bivol, Canelo may not even have another 6 months in the game. So he better stay away from guys like that. And he needs to stay off the ropes, because those ropes can be detrimental trying to show off when you're in there with a big puncher. But that's my opinion. I think Canelo definitely get through the rematch, because I know they want to do that. But if he gets knocked out cold, I mean, and then now Charlo fights him or Benavidez fights him, and one of them beat him, you can't really give them the credit for beating one of the pound-for-pound best, because he's already been damaged, you know. So hopefully Eddie Hearn and they sit down, have a discussion, and make the Benavidez or Charlo fight. Like, I really think now more than ever, this kind of frames things perfectly for Canelo. 175, not your division. Come on down and give either Benavidez. I think Benavidez. You want a tough fight? Fight Benavidez. Charlo's a tough fight too, but Benavidez is the fight. He's tall, lanky. He punches a lot. He hits hard. He got a good chin. Charlo is a good fight too, but I think Charlo would move around too much, and that's where he'd have problems. Canelo would catch him and time him as he's using that lateral movement, and when he's coming up in the air and his feet aren't set, Canelo would time that rise, and just at the same time when he's coming up, he'd be letting shots go, and Charlo would be unable to defend himself. Or especially he won't be able to counter too. But that's what I think. Benavidez, oh boy, long night, man. Benavidez or Charlo or Andre, but I know he's not gonna fight Andre. But that's it. Those guys need to raise their profile. Canelo needs to raise his back as well because he took a serious L tonight. But anyway, let me know who you think Canelo should fight. And what do you think Eddie Hearn should do? Because I just don't think putting him back in the ring with Bivol is the answer. I think he's going to get hurt. I really do. I think he needs to come on down and get busy with somebody in another weight class. Charlo or Benavidez or Andre. That's something Canelo didn't want to do. But I just think he's being forced into that position now more than ever because of that loss. And fans are going to say, what are you doing? It's going to make it seem like he's ducking them more than ever now. It's like you rather go in here and keep fighting at 175 and getting your butt kicked instead of coming down here to a more level playing field and fight one of us. So it's almost like he'd rather lose to someone where he's expected to lose than go down and lose to someone where he's not expected to lose and lose. And I don't know, man. That's just me thinking out loud. But leave your comments below and let me know your opinion on who you think Canelo should fight next. I think definitely he should come down, and I've already said it like 1,000 times in this video, Benavidez is the optimal choice. Y'all take care. I'm in the breeze.